that opened?
I think we were at the time, the 11th gym. Since then, a lot of those original gyms have closed and we've bumped up, but I don't know.
And, you know, by the time you were coaching at Soul, there was 100 plus CrossFit gyms in Miami.
I don't know. So I'll speak to this. When Sean came into the gym, he had, I mean, to be totally fucking honest with everybody, Sean had more CrossFit experience than I did, and I'm the one who opened the gym at the time. I mean, he had been doing it for 3 or 4 years at that point. I had only been about 2 years in. I had done more seminars, and I had trained with more coaches and professionals than Sean had, but he had a lot more experience. So Sean's like onboarding as a coach, I mean, he learned the hard way, kind of just how I did, though. Like, we learned a lot at the same time. And it was a lot of just like, let's just do this together. Like, stand by my side, we'll develop this whole thing together. He did like the original Westside Barbell certification with me, all the original Olympic weightlifting stuff with me, and we learned a lot at the same time. Now, like, our internship has changed a lot, but back then, we had some help, but for the most part, I was coaching every single class, and it would just be like, Sean would work out in a class, help me in the next class, work out in another class, help me in another class, work out in another class, and we would just do that on repeat for months at a time.
So soon thereafter, you started working with HQ and doing like the weightlifting stuff?
So Sean started coaching at the gym and very quickly was well liked by people and took on a lot of responsibility. We moved gyms, moved into a second spot, and when we moved into the second spot, I did start working for HQ. I started translating the CrossFit weightlifting seminars. And at the same time, I met a guy, his name is Jeff Tucker, and he's the director of CrossFit Gymnastics. Jeff Tucker came to do CrossFit Gymnastics seminar at our first gym, and we just hit it off.
Like, you guys started doing the Life is RX stuff, right? Was that it?
Yeah, after that, but I mean, prior to that, we just met Jeff and Chuck Bennington, and we just hit it off really well. We got along very well, and we like spoke the same language, so to speak, and I don't know, we were
dick
just
jokes.
Like lots of dick jokes for sure. And when both of those things happened, I asked Jeff if he was looking for more help on his CrossFit Gymnastics seminar staff team.
Yeah.
And he told me yes he was, and I was like, I have the guy for you. And he was a little hesitant at first because Sean did not have a formal gymnastics background. And just about everybody on that staff at that time, not so much anymore, but at that time had like a very formal gymnastics, like artistic gymnastics.
Oh yeah.
Background.
They even competed in gymnastics and shit like that.
Yeah, very high level dudes.
Yeah.
And Sean did not. So I think it was a little bit awkward for Jeff at first. But that was your intro. So you went from like just coaching at CrossFit Gym at Soul, and then you ended up working for HQ through Jeff, right?
Yeah.
What was that like for you at the beginning?
Well, again, when Tucker was having that seminar over at the gym, I basically came in as like an assistant, and you know, I hadn't taken the seminar prior, so I had no idea what was really going to be going. I didn't know we were going to be doing back levers and front levers and shit like that. So, you know, when he had me assist, I guess I had to kind of pretend like I knew what I was doing.
Mm-hmm. He had you straight. He had you assist before you ever took. Like you had no idea what you were doing.
Oh yeah, it was back then. It was super informal.
Yeah.
Like my whole thing, I was just like, just don't fuck up.
Yeah.
You know, so I basically had to play off doing back levers and front levers, which I kind of did at the time, but.
So were you just like a demo guy?
Yeah, I played demo guy for a while. And still kind of like learning when I was doing it, you know. But yeah, after that weekend, I remember like we had dinner with Tucker, and he kind of like talked about it, and you know, he kind of said that he wanted me to be part of the team, and I was totally stoked. Back then, it was just like watching videos of Tucker.
That was like a dream come true.
Yeah,
for sure.
dude, it was like seeing a fucking superstar, and it it was so informal back then. Tucker was like, yeah, you know, we should put you in the team. It was like a couple months later, I was already like assisting other coaches.
That's like, I mean, that's probably why you've done so well at them, to be honest. Like, so many people nowadays, like, they want a formal education for everything. They go to school and stuff. Like, you can't beat that hands-on learning experience. And you know what it's like to not have any formal experience with it and and learn it, so it's easier for you to teach it to beginners, don't you think? Like, that's gotta help.
Oh yeah, of course. I think with especially for this CrossFit Gymnastics, a lot of people were gymnasts, so they've been doing this since they were fucking out of the womb. So they'd be 3 years old and they're doing like hollow holds and stuff. So to them it's like second nature, you know. But most of the people that I'm teaching in the seminars are like 38.
Yeah.
You know, trying
Stiff
to
as
teach
shit,
that.
can't put their hands over their head.
For sure. So for them it's hard to pick up, but I think I have more of an understanding because it's not like I've been doing this since I was like 5, you know?
Yeah.
I've always thought that was like his specialty when it came to the gym. We've had, I mean, literally the best CrossFit athletes in our sport. People who have sat on the podium multiple times, trained in this gym, and ask for Sean's help on things just because, you know, they know he's here and they assume, oh, he works on the seminar staff. I think what makes Sean so special in this setting is he has the same background as 99% of our clients.
Yeah.
Which is like a regular dude, not a formal gymnastics background, and he's going to help teach you a handstand. It's not really your interest teaching a games athlete how to get a back lever, right? I mean...
Yeah, just any kind of movement at all is cool, but, you know, it's not like I had all that formal training, you know. I just know how to...
You almost like speak their language.
Yeah, basically. You know, again, I never like really formally learned how to do a muscle up before when I did it. I just saw it and imitated it. Yeah, I basically learned how to do it and teach it because
but
people like mad and
that's
crying.
a big deal. Like, I can't tell you how many seminars we've gone to with some former Olympic champion weightlifter, and the insight you're getting is almost nothing, just because they can't relate to a person that picked up weightlifting at 30 years old.
Yeah.
Like, they have no experience with that, so it's like they're speaking two different languages.
Yeah.
Like, how many of these guys have come in and they're amazing athletes, but they can't teach someone to snatch. They just get frustrated and say, all right, do more of them. And, like, it's true. I mean,
I
it sucks
totally
to say,
agree,
but it's
dude.
true.
Well, especially people like to have a better practical application of our sport, so to speak, or CrossFit. They don't really understand what it, like the development of someone who walks into the gym day one and can't hold their arms over their head and progressing them onto snatching one day. I think that is what makes a lot of the CrossFit seminars really special, and it frustrates some people because you'll have people who think they belong at the games or think that they belong in this very high level enroll in these seminars, and they're like, oh, well, so I used to translate for some of the original CrossFit Gymnastics seminars that were in Latin America, and a lot of times they were like, I don't know how high level, but higher level than your regular gym goer, that were like, oh, I'm here to learn how to do better bar muscle ups and clean up my chest to bar butterfly pull-ups and be able to handstand walk for at least 100 feet unbroken. And we're like, what? We're going to teach you how to hold, beat swing and hollow body position.
How do you say skin the cat?
Something gato. For
Yeah,
sure.
I actually don't know. Maybe that's why I'm not doing that
We
job.
just called it skin the gato, I think.
Skin the guy.
Skin the guy.
Skin the cat. That's a good one we said.
How do you deal with translating when you're over there? Do you have somebody who does that with you? Is there somebody who they hire from the gym or something like that?
Well, just so the listeners understand, like, Sean went from being the demo guy, which is basically a lead instructor will talk about an exercise like a muscle up or a hollow body rock, and then he'll say, Sean, can you show everyone what that looks like? Can you give us your thoughts? Okay, shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
That's how that starts, and then he progressed on to being like an assistant coach who, you know, maybe has some segments that he covers in the seminar, talks a little bit more, checks people in, etc., to then being a lead instructor, to then being a lead instructor in I mean, every country in Asia besides North Korea, right?
Do you keep track of that? How many countries have you been to?
Dude, I have not kept track at all. I don't know. I mean, I know my passport is basically full, so I wish I kept count, but you know, fuck. I don't even know how to answer that.
What was your first international experience? Was that Chile with me, he and you?
Oh, it might have been.
I think so.
Yeah. I know the first one out of Miami was. I was gonna say North Korea. No, North Carolina.
I remember that.
Or South Carolina, one of those.
Why not North Korea?
Soon.
Never.
But yeah, I think the first one was Chile with you.
Okay, and then since then, I mean, can you like give a short list of some of the countries you traveled to?
Shanghai, Philippines, Egypt. I did the first seminar ever of CrossFit in Egypt, which was pretty fucking cool.
Not an L1, nothing.
No. So I thought they already had a bunch over there, and when I went over there, what was that, like 3 years ago or something like that?
Yeah, something.
It wasn't too great in Egypt, so I was a bit worried. So they had like a guy kind of like to stay with me at all times.
Like a
show me
bodyguard.
around.
You had like a security guard.
Not like a bodyguard, but
Did you tell him you knew Kung Fu?
a guy just made sure
Don't
nothing
worry.
happened.
He was strapped.
But yeah, it was like a huge deal over there, and I didn't know until Saturday morning. I think there was like 40-something people,
Fuck.
and you know, before I even started, they're like, "We just want to thank you for being the first seminar ever in Egypt." I fucking shit my pants, dude. It was,
Wow.
yeah, it was really cool. And, you know, it was just me as well, so.
And you'll get stuck in these places for like a week or two at sometimes, right? Because they'll
Yeah.
schedule you to do 3 seminars in different countries, but in the same region, consecutive weekends, right? You don't have
Yeah.
to stay out there.
So whenever I do something like in Asia, you know, usually I'll do like 2 or 3 back to back. So it makes more sense, and it's a lot cheaper just to stay there. So like next month I'll be going to Philippines. I just stay in the Philippines until I go over to teach in Shanghai. You
And
know?
you'll do that back-to-back weekends?
Yeah.
Wow.
So what do you do in the meantime there?
I try to venture out, you know. I think that's one of the coolest things about doing this is traveling. Because of traveling, I kind of really got into photography and all that, so I get super excited with, like, you know, having some downtime and trying to, like, eat weird shit, basically. That's been my thing. Wherever I go, I try to eat whatever.
Contracted hepatitis.
No, I got blood tested.
Did you really?
Yeah.
When?
Like 2 or 3 weeks after.
You know it can take up to 6 months for that shit to show up, right?
I believe it's good.
Okay, cool. So anyways, tell
Believe
us about
it
your
or not.
hepatitis tattoo experience.
So, in the Philippines, there's this famous lady. Her name is Fangon, basically.
Let's hear that again.
Fangon.
Can you spell that?
It's actually spelled W-H-A-N-G.
Wang.
So it sounds like it says Wang On,
Wang.
but
Wang On.
it's Fangon. But she's up in the mountains. It's basically this.
She's just wanging up in the mountains.
It's wanging. So where I was at, it was in Manila. I thought it would just be like
That's where the folders are from, right?
where they were invented.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, that kind.
Nice. So you were in Manila.
And you know, I told them that I want to get this tattoo. I thought it would just be something like really simple. And
She's been tattooing she's like, didn't she learn from she's like part of some lineage of tattooers
yeah, she's like
from out
the
there?
last in
Ed
her
Hardy?
tribe.
Yeah, how old was she?
She learned from Sailor Jerry and Ed Hardy and them.
Well, when I got there, she was actually 100, which is gnarly. Yeah,
What does she look like? How does she move?
dude,
Did you teach her how to do a planche?
She's like fucking 4 feet tall, but she moves like crazy. Like she moves more than me. Like when I was getting the tattoo, we had to sit down on stools. The stools were literally like 3 inches. It was ridiculous. My back was hurting. I should have just sat on the floor, and she was fine.
What was the trek there like? I remember you taking pictures on crazy looking mountains and like.
So
There's no electricity there, right? It's like some.
So from Manila, you take a 4-hour bus ride. So you take a 4-hour bus ride into the city, and then from the city, you take I don't know what you would call it in English.
You mean the only language
The
you
only-
speak?
My second language. Damn, I don't know what it's called. So it's basically, think like, a short bus.
So an
Well,
SUV, you
Or
mean?
van.
Yeah.
Kind of like a short bus,
A
but
Plymouth Town and Country. Second time I've said that today. Yeah.
think like a small school bus, a mini school bus, with no air conditioning, and people actually ride on top on the roof. So you had to ride that for 3 hours, and then you had to take a motorcycle. You didn't ride them. You have to be like in back of someone riding a motorcycle for like another hour and a half, and then you start trekking up the mountain. So it's all that shit, and then
You really wanted to get tattooed by this
yeah.
half-blind 100-year-old lady. You could have gone on 8th Street and seen my dog Teapot. You fucking went on a 15-hour excursion to get
Yeah,
tattooed
dude,
by this
it
blind
was,
4-foot monk.
She learned from where? From
it
other
was
monks who
from
live
her,
in
Instagram.
from her tribe, from Instagram, basically.
That's like
YouTube
original
videos.
Filipino tattooing kind
Yeah.
of stuff.
Yeah, I forgot the whole background to that, but basically you would like kill someone and then you got tattooed.
Sweet.
Yeah,
So, it's like a teardrop. Like
Ice Cube has 3 of those.
the Philippines basically started the teardrop.
So you had to kill someone on your way up there?
Yeah, not now.
The Filipinos are teardropping a lot of people these days.
So what did she use to tattoo you? Because there's no electricity, right? She didn't have a machine.
No, so it's like old school, basically with just like
The needle.
a needle and a stick. So, yeah, needle and a stick. So the tattoo, how long would this take for like a regular?
4 minutes.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
no,
like-
like 45 minutes.
Yeah.
30
45
minutes.
It took 5 hours.
Oh my
And it hurt like fuck.
And it was the worst fucking pain ever.
Didn't she not finish it?
So, Fangod is like
Wang.
Wang odd.
Wang-
She's basically nowadays. Sometimes she'll like do half or just do her signature.
I'm done.
This is her signature here.
Those
So
3
depending on
dots?
who it is, but I went with 2 other friends and she fucking loved us and she ended up doing like what?
It kind of looks like
70%
a.
of it?
I'm not busting your balls, but it kind of looks like a tribal armband.
Yeah, like a
kinda-
Polynesian-
Oh, like a Polynesian
Yeah.
Well,
small
that's-
band.
He's in.
Yeah, he's not Polynesian at all.
Yeah, but
Same letter, Filipino.
same
That's what she-
ocean, you know.
Yeah, same ocean.
We're all one.
Yeah.
Anyways,
We're all one.
There's only one.
when are you getting that thing covered up?
Never, dude. Hopefully never.
So again, she couldn't finish it.
Well, she did like 75% of it, and then her great granddaughter finished it off the next day. I was so pissed.
That's Wang off.
Playing 2,
Yeah.
playing 1, playing 2.
I really did not want to continue it the next day, dude. It
So,
hurts like hell.
so you stayed there? You like stayed
yeah, you
with them?
stay there. You don't like set up an appointment with them. You go over there and you just find like now the way it was before. If she didn't want to tattoo you, you just have to go back.
Fuck.
But
Did
we had
you
to
bring gifts or something? You came bearing
Yeah, you had
frankincense
to. Basically.
Myrrh?
Yeah. So when we went over there, they like did
and
some
myrrh? What is
research.
myrrh? You get myrrh out there?
Myrrh.
Frankincense?
It's a
I don't know what
fragrance.
either of those things are.
No, we brought candy for like the kids in the village and shit like that.
That's nice.
And
So
we
you
bear fruit.
traveling, you really got into photography and all that.
Yeah.
And that's become a big part of your life since then as well.
That's like the Soul Sean
That's
trademark,
Yeah.
bro.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. Like traveling.
Photos you got out of that trip were awesome.
Yeah, dude, it was amazing.